Good morning. This is Faith, and this is Stitching at the Barn. Before we begin, I want to apologize for my cold and for my scratchy throat, but I don't know if it's allergies or cold or a little bit of both, but I've had a rough couple of days here. But anyways, I wanted to get this done, and I'll tell you why in just in a few minutes. I wanted to come back and have a visit with you. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for my new subscribers. And so glad that you've chosen to come over and have a visit with me and see what I've been up to. And I would really appreciate it if you're new, or if you're coming back, to push the like button. And if you're new, to please push the subscribe button so that you'll know when I put up another video. I try to do one once a month. But anyways, I'm so glad for all my precious subscribers. And as much as I'd love to have a bunch of subscribers, I just appreciate each one that I have. But anyways, I wanted to get one up because next week we're planning on taking a little trip for several weeks, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get another one up. So anyways, that's why I was really wanting to get one up today to show you what I've been doing. The last one I put up was in September. I think it was September the 18th. So it was definitely time to get another one up to tell you what I've been up to. But anyways, as my norm, when I stitch, I like to watch FlossTube. And so besides my normal ones that I try to watch, I try to get all my normal ones in, and I start with one, and whatever just comes up behind it, that's what I normally watch. Red Dirt Flossworks, Ashlyn and Bree, I try to get them in, and I'm able to meet them. I was able to stitch with them. They are two sweet ladies. So if you don't watch them, you need to go over and watch them. They're from here in Oklahoma, and they are wonderful. And then the Stitching Owl, I hadn't seen her in a while for whatever reason. I just hadn't, so it was so good to get back and watch Karen. And the Comfort Stitcher. For some reason, I hadn't watched her in a little while, so Jackie, I was able to catch up with her, and oh my, Jackie has eight projects going on, but she just sent me a message, said she got one finished, so she's back down to 7. But that is so exciting for me to hear. So, if you don't watch the Comfort Stitcher, you really need to. I enjoy watching her. Brenda and the Cereal Starter, I hadn't seen them in a while. I think they had been gone to several stitch meets and various things, so it was good to see them again. And if you don't watch Kay Threads and Stitches, it's Carissa, but she is changing her name to Low Country Needleworks. So you need to look for Low Country Needleworks. I really enjoy watching her. She hadn't put one out very often, but look for her and watch her. I really enjoy watching her. And so those are some of the ones that I've tried to catch up with. And then the Crafty Cataloger, Katrina. Thank you for shouting me out, Katrina. I really appreciate it, and I so love watching Katrina. And she has started something new. Instead of putting just one big one out once a month, she tapes at the end of each week what she's done that week, and then she puts them all together at the end of the month or whatever, and then makes one video. It's a unique way to do it, and it works really well for her. And but for me, I probably would not. That wouldn't work for me. I'd forget to do it or whatever. But anyways, so those are some of the ones that I've been watching. Plus, anybody else that comes up, I just watch them all. Anyways, what have I been doing? Well, we went camping. a couple of nights. We went to a thrashing show in Fairview, Oklahoma. We went there, and we hadn't been there probably in a couple years, 3 or 4 years. So we went back there. It was very interesting. And then I just keep busy here at home and cross stitching and whatever. And then this past Saturday, I got to do something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. I went to Prairie Moon Primitives that's in Wayne, Oklahoma. They have once a month on a Saturday, they have a stitch-in day where ladies just come and they stitch. I think they have something like every Saturday just about. But once a month it's for cross stitchers. And so I went there with a friend and went there to cross stitch. And it was so much fun. I hope to do it again. I won't be able to do it in November, but I want to so much be able to go and do that. But anyways, like I said, my allergies have been acting up, and Saturday evening they just went bonkers. And Sunday, I don't know. I just haven't got over it. I slept almost all day Sunday, and it just kind of comes and goes. And so if I cough, have to turn and blow my nose, I am so sorry. But anyways, that is what's been up with me. So we're going to be traveling east next week. We're going to leave and travel east and visit some friends. But have no fear, I will take my cross stitching with me. And as you know, I work on every project for 2 nights. And I will take pictures and I will let you know what I'm up to. So here we go. Let's see what I have been doing since September the 18th. Let's check it out. And by the way, didn't you love my, what do you call it? The introduction picture for the last video I did? That was just an outstanding picture. I don't know how I could have posed any better. I'm going to try to work on that pose this time. But anyways, here we go. And I didn't do any ironing. I never do any ironing on mine before. So here we go. The first one that I'm going to show you is my nativity. That's the first one. And I'm pleased with how much I got done, and I'm almost completely across the top. Can you see it? Do I have it? There we go. Across the top. There'll be just a line coming down the back side here yet. But other than that, I've just about got the top. That was one of my goals. I wanted to get the top done and then work my way down. So that's where I'm at on that one. So anyways, that was the first one I had worked on. And I had put 509 stitches in. My thing says the percentage, and some of them, and I'm 15% done. I kind of believe it on that one. Some of them I had started before I got my iPad, and I had to kind of fill in. Some of my percentages I'm not quite sure about, but some of them are right on target. The next one is my Stitchy Stars. Now this one does not count my stitches, so I don't know, but here is what it is. And I have done the summer and the fall, and I'm doing the winter now. Here's the winter, and I'm right over here, the last 2 on the winter, and all I've got left is the spring to do. So that's all I've got left is the spring. So that one is almost complete. All right. The next one is my Kitchen Sweet Kitchen. I like this one because after each little motif or each letter, you feel like you've accomplished something. You feel like you've just really done something good. And last time I did the letter I, J, let's see, I don't think I'm completely done outlining the letter J. And I was working on the K and the L. So next time I've got to go back and do the outlining before I move on. So let's see. H-I, J for jam, K for kettle, and L for lemon. Yeah. I, J, K, L, yes. So when I get done with my J, I'm halfway done with my alphabet. I have J and M on this row yet. So that's coming along nicely. I really like that. All right. Whoa. September Cottage. I have September and November, the only ones I have left to do on this. And here's my September Cottage. Well, here is, just a minute. If you could see, that's what it's going to look like. And I'm down to the bottom of it. But so really all I've got left is this down here. I may have a little, I've got a little bit left in there to do, but it'll look like that up there. September and then November. So it'll be ready for next year's rotation when I get to September. I'll be able to put it up. Yeah, I've got a little bit. Let's see, I'm trying to look. Yeah, I've got a little bit left in this row. This row is completely done, but I've got a few things left in there and then that row. That's all I've got left to do. And then I can start November. So that's what I have there. And I don't count my stitches on September Cottage. But when I start my November Cottage, I will count my stitches on that. I did put that into my iPad on my markup. I did put that in, so I can count my stitches on that. Okay. Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water. Next one. Life is a Garden. I like the bright colors on this one. I worked the last time on the basket down here and the little stands. Let's see, what are they? maybe they're the beginnings of those letters. Hey, that's what those are. They're the beginnings of the letters G and A, and not sure what all the, and anyways, that's what I worked on. I worked on the basket and starting on the watermelon. And so I'm just working really on page 1. Whatever page 1 consists of, that's what I'm working on before I go to page 2. So just doing it as whatever is on that page. So, but I enjoy when that one comes out. Okay. Next, Winter Welcome. I like the progress that I've made on this one. Winter Welcome. The weather here has started to get a little bit cooler. I'd say it's got a lot to do with why I'm the way I am. It's starting. I love cool weather. I don't like cold. I like cool. And so I don't know what my issue is for sure. Here we are, minus the hair. Here's where we are. I got quite a bit more done on the birdhouse, and I started on the door. And the bird down at the bottom, I worked on him. So let's see. I haven't been telling you, have I? On this one, I got 445 stitches done. So that's what I had gotten done on that. On Life is a Garden, I got 259 stitches on that one. So my goal is, and it doesn't always work because life, I try to do 200 stitches, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. But anyways, that's what I try. The next one, I'm real pleased. This one's my life project. Is my dollhouse. I'm working up here and here and here. Those are kind of the 3 rooms that's in progress. This one is basically done. So it's this one here, I think is still a part of page 1. And if I have a little bit of thread left over, I'll go over here to page 2. But it's page 1 is here, and this is page 2. So, and the last time I worked on this, I got 700 stitches, so I was quite thrilled. So now next time I bring it out, I'm going to go back in here and do outlining at least one of the 2 days that I work on it. Let's go back in and do some outlining. And outlining stitches don't count. So I want to get page 1, or this first room, get it outlined and everything before I move on. Because I don't want to get the whole house done and then I have to go back and outline the whole house. No, that would not be fun. Okay. That one goes there. All right. Shaker season. This was my new one for the month of October. Looks like this. And it says on it, if you cannot read it, it says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer." It's broken up into several area parts. And I got 234 stitches on it. So I'm going to love it when it's done. So I worked basically on this and got this little inside border done for the first. I was trying to work on the first box, and I got the words, started some of the words for the first box. And this right here, I don't know why, but I did it in the wrong color to begin with, and I had to take this out and do it again. It's the little shaker box right here. I don't know what made me do that, but I did. So that put me behind. So that's all I've got done on that one so far. So next time we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Come on, let's go in, guys. Okay. My winter ABC. That is this one here, and it's the last one of these that I need to do. And I'll have this whole set complete. And I'll start at the top and work my way down. And the last time I worked on it, I did 404 stitches. And I did M for mittens. And so now I'm working on the quilt. So I'm ready for letter N, O, P, Q. That's where I'm at. So that one's coming along nicely. Yeah, I just have to, I've got to put the other part of the stand in and finish that quilt up, and then I can keep going on that one. All right. Kitchen sampler. That's what this one looks like. It's another ABC one. And it says at the top, a country kitchen sampler from A to Z, the heart of the home welcomes thee. And then under the baskets, I can put my name. It says Deborah's Kitchen, but I can put Faith's Kitchen there. So that's what. But I'm just at the top of this one right now. I've got my A and B, and I'm working on the C for Crocs. This last time I went back and I worked on the outlining of the baskets, And then I started on my C and worked on the Crocs, so I've got to finish that. Then I'll probably go and put in Faith's Kitchen before I go on down. Is probably what I'll do after I outline my Crocs and do that. So it's another one of those that as you do your motifs, you feel like you have accomplished something. Each one is a little cheerful thing. Little cheerful thing. That goes there. I've got two piles. One pile that I'm taking on my trip and one pile that's staying at home. Okay, next one. Oh, that one I did, yeah, 304 stitches on that one. Yes. The next one. I love this one. But this last time, we didn't get along real well. Kind of had an argument. Just a second, please. Here's what it's going to look like. It's a Virtuous Woman, and I love it. But we had an argument. I did the outlining in this one. I think I have all the outlining. No, maybe not. I've got just a little bit more to do in that one. And then I moved on to this. And got over here to this little girl. You know, when you try to count ahead, you have some color on your needle and you go ahead and you count and you think you've got it. Oh, her and I got in an argument. I don't know if you can tell it or not. Well, here, let me hold it up first and then I'll bring it in. That's what it looks like at this point. But if I bring her in, I'm pulling out all of this pink in here in the middle. Because it's not right. I messed up. Yeah, her and I had words. And I think I have to pull out her face and hair. Yeah, her and I, we didn't get along too well the last time we worked. So, and that one says, her children rise up and call her blessed. I wasn't too blessed that day. So, I've got to do a little bit of work on that one. So that's where I'm at on that one. So let me see. I don't know how much I got in. I only got 241 stitches in that day. For those 2 days. The first day, I backstitched. And of course, you don't get a whole lot. Those don't count. Well, then I worked on the little boy and the man. But when I got to the woman, I got stuck. Okay. Silver Creek. This one is going to become my Sunday stitch, starting this next Sunday. And you'll understand why if you don't know. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to turn this into a door pull. This is what it's going to become. And I took this to my stitch day. And I got in 202 stitches on that day. And here is where I'm at. I am down here time for bed. I worked on the bed is where I really worked hard on. I have to put the hands in the clock. And I worked some on the angel wings. So I've got to do a little bit more to the bed and then put the word angel. What does it say? Angels singing. And finish the angels. And then it says, Christ is born, a gift for all on Christmas morn. So I don't have much left. So this one is going to become my Sunday stitch starting this Sunday. I will work on it every Sunday, so I will take it off of my wheel and it will be an automatic Sunday stitch. So, and the reason why it will become my Sunday stitch is my last Sunday stitch was this one, which had been in my rotation for 2 years, maybe. I should have looked it up to see how long it had been in there. I really don't know. But anyways, this Sunday, I have a finish. As of Sunday, it is finished. Now to find the perfect frame. I'd like to find a wooden, kind of rustic looking type frame. Is what I'd like to find. Nothing shiny, kind of rustic looking. That's what I'd like to find for this one. So I've got to start looking and keeping my eyes open for that. I've got to get my measurements and write it down, and so that I can do that. And then this is what I'm working on. I worked on it last night and I will work on it today. Is my Autumn Avenue. I believe this was September's new one. I believe, I'm not sure. But that's what it looks like. And I don't have as much done on it as I wish I did. And I don't know how many stitches I did last night. I really don't. I didn't look. I could have, but I didn't look. But that's where I'm at. Doesn't look like much. That's a tree, and that's the window of the house, and that's part of the roof, and that's the leaves blowing up above. That's all I can tell you. And that's part of a little bird. So that's where I'm at. So that is what I have worked on. But I will work on Autumn Avenue again tonight. So that will be in my rotation, or that I will show you that the next time I talk to you. I know. Now, my stitches for September, I did 5,276, and so far for the month of October, and it's almost over, I've done 3,134. So we'll see how many more I can get in these last 2 weeks. So I already told you what my next Sunday stitch is. I always try to, and I really like that, my idea of my Sunday stitch. I like that. I find something that's just about close to the end, and then I can finish it up on Sunday. And something that I know, hey, that's what I'm going to work on every Sunday till it's done. And I really like that. The other ones, I'll continue spinning my wheel. And let me show you one more thing. Oh, yes. I think I showed you before, but let me show you again. Here it is. I can't wait till it comes up on my wheel. But I can't let it come up until the month is started. This is going to be my November start. Isn't that so cute? I am not a Santa Claus. I have nothing against Santa Claus. But I'm just not a Santa Claus stitcher. But this one here, I love. I just love this one. And I cannot wait for it to come up on my wheel in the month of October. Oh, what am I saying? November. I cannot wait for it to come up. I don't know if I can get it done by next Christmas or not. I have no idea. But I am so excited about that. I am so excited. So I've got to get my husband to put it in so it'll be on my iPad before we leave. So I've got to get him to do that for me before we leave. So, but I am so excited about that. So that's my November new one. So, and I've been working on my plans for next year, and they've changed 2 or 3 times, but I've been kind of working on which one I'm going to add each month next year. So anyways, I've been kind of working on that. All right. I think that's got all of that. Let me show you a few cards that I have made. As you know, I love to make cards and send cards out to people. And I just enjoy doing that. So here are a couple cards. This is one of my newest cards that I've made for Thanksgiving. And it won't be long, and it's going to be here. It's my Thanksgiving card. This was a children's card I made a long time ago. I haven't made that haven't made it in a while, but that's one of my little children's cards. I try to go through and remake them every so often. Here's one of my fall cards. And here's one of my new cards that I've made. It says, "Sending autumn wishes your way." And here is one that is new. Happy Thanksgiving. But I just love sending cards out to people because people just don't write letters anymore because we have our phones, we send messages, we send texts, we do all that. People just don't send cards. And I think our older people or widows and widowers and whatever, I just think they appreciate getting mail. And I think so often we forget about them, and that's what I just like to remember them. For our reading today, I hope you'll stay around, but if not, I hope you have a wonderful rest of October and November. And if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And remember, we have so much to be thankful for. So much. So count those blessings. But anyways, here is our reading for today. It's called Without Regret. Lord, one of your most wonderful gifts is a life without regret. The freedom must be more than most of us can bear because we have a terribly hard time accepting that gift, don't we? But oh, what a beautiful day it will be to wake up and realize regret is gone. I have a glimpse of it now. I remember an old sin, and instead of self-condemnation and shame, I can experience a few moments of peace, of gratitude. Those days are behind me. Then the voice speaks up, the one that says, "How can you be happy right now?" Help me silence that voice, Lord. Let me seize your grace and be free of regret once and for all. Are you living a life without regret? Same for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of October and November, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And remember all the things that you can be thankful for. Just remember those. Well, stay cool and keep stitching. Bye-bye.